wanted to talk to you about time travel, but not time travel in the traditional sense of science fiction movies and things like that, but time travel and shortwave. Now, there is a way of having a chunk of the shortwave spectrum recorded in such a way that we can tune through the bands today as if we were there. And I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to show you something that I recorded on a Blu-ray disc, like this. There's the just standard Blu-ray disc, using my Blu-ray recorder and my preferred software, which is SDR Console, which you can see on the screen behind me there. That's running at the moment. Now that's live. That's 9670. I think that's radio 292. Coming in today, it's the 21st of October. It's a Monday, and it's just 10 past 11 local time here in the UK. Okay, but we're going to be able to tune shortly through a recording that was made in March 2017 of the 49 meter band, the 40 meter amateur band, and part of the 41 meter broadcast band. So roughly a 1.5 megahertz chunk of bandwidth. And I'll show you a quick picture of how that works. We set a center frequency. We're recording a 1.5 megahertz. So the software will capture 750 kilohertz down from our center frequency and 750 kilohertz up from our center frequency, and that gives us the chunk of the band that we're recording and we're later able to tune through. Now, the amount of bandwidth you can record is limited only by your hardware that you're using. So in other words, if you've got an SDR receiver capable of a 10 megahertz bandwidth, then you can record 10 megahertz at a time. I know there are receivers out there that will cover the whole 30 megahertz of HF spectrum. You could record that. The problem is the wider the bandwidth you record, the more storage space it uses. And these IQ recordings are quite storage hungry. So we are limited by that. That's why at the time I went for 1.5 megs of bandwidth. And just under an hour's recording has filled a 25, I think they're 25, yeah, 25 a gigabyte Blu-ray disc. So that was an hour of 1.5 megahertz. So to look at it another way, you could record all of the medium wave band pretty much for an hour, and it will fit on a Blu-ray disc. Now, you don't have to use a Blu-ray disc. You can just keep it on your hard drive. You could use a USB thumb drive or external hard drive or whatever. But those recordings, they do mount up. They're quite bulky, so we can't just record everything all the time. The storage wouldn't be there. You have to be sort of fairly selective about how you record. Now, when I started looking into and doing a bit of research for this video, I found out something I didn't realize myself. And there was, or is, although the website seems to be a bit static at the moment, an organization which was looking at preserving these IQ recordings. And in fact, there were some radio enthusiasts back in the 1980s that were using video recorders, VCR tapes, and they were recording chunks of the spectrum. Not quite sure how they did it, but in the links in the description of this video, I'll show you a link and you'll be able to go to an example of a medium wave band recording. It was done in the USA, I think in 1986. And you'll see somebody tuning through the AM band on that 1986 recording, but tuning through it live as if they were there, just as I'm going to do with the 2017 recording I'm going to show you in a moment. So what I tend to do now, if conditions are particularly good, or it's an interesting time of the year, perhaps Halloween or Christmas or something like that, when particularly if you're interested in pirate broadcasters, there tend to be a few more of them around. If you've got a station that's opening up, which is unusual these days, or a station that's closing down, I make sure I get an IQ recording of the band at that time. You know, even if, like I say, conditions are exceptionally good, you could record, for example, the 10-meter band or the 6-meter band, just so you can tune through later on. If you're into medium wave DXing, you can record the medium wave band, record an hour's worth of medium wave band overnight, you know, when you'd normally be in bed. So in Europe, in the UK, I record the band at maybe 0300, 0400 UTC. I can't be up and awake at that time because I need to sleep, but I can make the recording and I can play it back at a time that's convenient to me, and I'm able to tune through the bands and identify whichever signals I want. Right, I'm going to show you the 2017 recording of mine and how that works. It's on a Blu-ray disc, just connect it up to the PC, and using SDR Console we'll tune through it. When you've had a look at that, have a look at the links in the description of this video, and you'll be able to see some of the AM recordings from the 1980s. And it also takes you to a site that is dealing with the preservation of these IQ recordings, although when I visited that site today, it seemed like it hadn't been updated for a while, so not quite sure what's happening there, but it's interesting to see anyway. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot. Right, let's start our time machine. So I've got SDR Console open. There's no receiver connected to it on this machine. We don't need one because we're going to play the file from the Blu-ray disc I showed you. So I'll just go to open. It's already gone to the Blu-ray disc. You can see this was recorded 25th of March 17, around 1819. We captured 1.5 megahertz of bandwidth, and we had a center frequency of just less than 6.5 megahertz, 6498. Press the play button. It takes a couple of seconds for the Blu-ray to kick in, and I'll just zoom. We'll go to 6.4 here, 6.5, look, which is pretty much our center frequency. I'll center it up and I'll zoom right out. I'll just turn this sound down a moment, and we can see now this is the spectrum that we've captured. So we go to about 6257 at the top end, 7257 at the top end, and down to 57.4 or 5740. Start at the low end. I'll click down here. I'll center that up so you can actually see that the spectrum drops off to nothing below that. Let's zoom in. And we see the first kind of AM signal we've got there is 5740. Let's just turn the volume up. I can reduce the bandwidth or increase it as need be, or I can reduce it here. Can tune up. Let's move a bit further up the band. I can apply any of the filters that's in my software, so I can take the noise blanket off there, and it does make quite a difference here. You can see we've got that bit of interference there. It's reduced there. Let's move up the band. Now, as we're listening, if we miss something, we want to go back, or we want to go forward to see if a station's going to ID or something like that. Up here we've got our seek buttons. We can go back 30 seconds or forward 30 seconds, or we can set the seek time up to 300 seconds or as little as 1 second. I leave it at 30 generally. It's enough to skip through music tracks if you're waiting for a station to ID. And turn the volume back up. I'll show you how we can do that. Okay, so we'll just hit the forward. hit the forward. If you look at the box down at the bottom, you can see the timeline, the playback line, and you can see that will go up. And we can go back or forward as we wish. Let's move up the band a little. Some strong signals here. This is 7 years ago now, remember, over 7 years, 7.5 years ago that we're listening to. Let's open the bandwidth out a bit. We can switch to synchronous AM.
You don't have to be the CEO. You're already like the boss at home. Why would you want to? That's
Now, this was recorded, it was a Saturday, and looks like there's a few pirate stations, a few free radio stations about. Let's just see if we can pick anything up. It's quite a weak signal there, but there is something there. So 6230, quite a weak one. Something on 6250. There's a strong signal here on 6285. Let's go up. Let's scan through. Forward. But we haven't got an ID. Just another song. So let's go to 6295. Where there seems to be another station. Seems to be non-stop music, this one. So we can scan through, we can keep going through. You can see the conditions change as we do. Let's go up to here, 6328. Strong one there. That's dropped there. Looks like they've ceased transmission. That was at 1839. You can see in the box here. Let's go back. So we're going back now. Okay. Again, not much in the way of IDs on this recording tonight. We're probably not going to get much else there now. Let's move up the band a little. Might be some utility signals up here and so on, but not a lot, I think. A lot of commercial data and stuff, really. Let's zoom out a little. Load of interference there. Very strange signal. What about this? Some kind of data. Let's wait for a moment. We'll just skip back. There it is. Like a bird tweeting. Okay. So you'll see now as we come up, we're approaching the 40 meter amateur band. So let's land ourselves into that. A little bit further up. We can switch mode to lower sideband. contest on, as we can see. I don't know what contest there was in March 2017, but here's a recording of it. Okay, now you can see again as we come out of the 40 meter amateur band. We've got some AM stations, so we've just caught part of the 41 meter broadcast band as part of our recording. So I'll switch to AM mode. I'll turn the volume up for you. And we've got 7210 there with a good signal. 7235, we've got an AM signal. 7255, and then we're right off the edge of the bandwidth that we've recorded, 7265, and I'll just zoom out from there and you can see that it's cut off the recording above 7265. That's the end of our recording bandwidth. But you know, this is on the disc now for as long as a Blu-ray disc lasts, so that's another question, isn't it? But we can tune around this little bit of spectrum as if it were 25th of March 2017 in any mode. We could hook up any data decoders or anything like that we wanted. We can switch in our noise reduction, noise blankers, adjust everything that you could on a live receiving session. If only we'd had this in the 1970s and the 1980s or even before, and we could surf the bands as if it were today. I think that would be wonderful. I hope this has been of some interest. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.